What's up, guys? It's Diego from SGN, back to talk about Manchester United and really what's been going on with the club and Jose Mourinho. And coming into the season, I was cautiously optimistic. And what I mean by that is, I was, of course, optimistic because I'm always excited about the new season. I'm always excited to see the new players come in and see how they can set themselves in the team, the way we're going to set up, if we're going to be playing exciting football, and just to see if we can compete for titles. And coming into the season, I was expecting us, of course, to maybe not win the title, maybe not reach the semifinal of the Champions League, but to at least be able to put on a title challenge and to at least be able to make it to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. But unfortunately, as things are going on, I become less and less enthusiastic. I become less and less convinced that we're going to be able to actually achieve those goals. And I think it's a matter of just so much negativity surrounding the club. And of course, I was pretty pissed off, as you can probably tell from a video I did a few weeks ago when the transfer market closed. I was pretty pissed off at the fact that the club kind of refused to bring in the players that Jose wanted. And of course, it's no secret that the Glazer family is shit. There's no secret that the board doesn't give a fuck about the club except for making money. That's just never really been in question. And it's just no secret that the way things are being run, we're kind of looking like Arsenal in some ways, and it's a very, very disappointing thing because when you run like that, you can't really guarantee they're going to be a successful club for years to come. So that's very worrying, and it's very, very disappointing, and hopefully things will change. But as of right now, there's so many issues at the club. All right, Jose Mourinho, without a doubt, does not have he is not completely to leave out of the blame. I do believe that he does have quite a bit of the blame to be holding on his shoulder. But does that really mean that he is the guy that we need to be looking at and being Jose Mourinho needs to get the hell out of the club? I don't think so. I'm going to try to explain to you exactly why. And of course, as I mentioned, over the summer it was pretty clear that Jose Mourinho, alongside all the fans, wanted to bring a center back. Because Bailly might grow into a very solid player, but he does make a lot of mistakes. Victor Lindelof is still pretty young. He makes a lot of mistakes as well. He seems like he might be better in certain ways than Bailly, whereas Bailly is definitely better than him in other ways. So they might be able to be a combination that once they really reach their peak and once they kind of figure out how to fix their weaknesses, they might be a very solid combination. They might be a very solid team. However, as of right now, they aren't extremely reliable, and that's a big issue when you're trying to be a team trying to compete for the Premier League title, or when you're trying to reach the later stages of the Champions League. You have to have players that you can trust. And Victor Lindelof and Eric Bailly, they aren't those players. Neither is Phil Jones. Neither is Chris Smalling. Neither is Marcos Rojo. So we don't have a single center back that we can really trust. Not a single one. When it comes to fullbacks, we have Luke Shaw, who this season has been a revelation. He's looking like the player that we all believed he could possibly be because it seems like he got his head straight. He's got his physical attributes back to where they need to be. He's in shape. He's working his ass off. He's playing very well, so that's a great thing. But we still have Ashley Young. Without Luke Shaw, we have Ashley Young coming in there, who is a very piss-poor defender. On his day, he can do very good, but he's just not a good defender. On the right, we have Antonio Valencia, who's a very, very smart guy. You can tell he's learned to play right back in a very intelligent way, but defensively, he isn't the best. He has a very strong, physical. He has a lot of physical gifts, basically, what I'm trying to say. He's very strong physically. He's very fast. So when he gets himself out of position, he's a lot of times able to get himself back in defense in the right spot just using his physique, just using his physical gifts. And he is also he does have a lot of experience, so he kind of has fixed the weaknesses in his game by using experience. So that is a very good thing. So he's still a pretty decent player. I'm not going to say he's amazing, but he's a pretty good player. So our defense in general has a lot of youthful players like Luke Shaw, Bailly, Lindelof, Diego Dalot, mixed in with guys like Ashley and Antonio Valencia who are at the later stages of their career, and realistically they're failed wingers. So we don't have this amazingly reliable defense, and that's a big issue when you're a team trying to compete for titles, trying to compete for Champions League spots. When it comes to the later stage of the league, of course, you would expect us to be finishing in the top four without a doubt. You would be expecting us to finish, say, this round of 16 quarterfinals of the Champions League. But this year we also have a very, very tough group. Juventus are one of the best teams in the world right now. Valencia, even though they probably aren't that great, they're still a dangerous team. These Spanish teams are always dangerous, and they can always outplay you on any given day. So it's a very big issue for us in this group stage. We have to get all 6 points against Young Boys, because let's just be real, they're trash, so we should have beat them. We need to get at least 4 points against Valencia, and we need to try to get as many points as possible against Juventus to move on. If not, we might be watching ourselves drop down to the Europa League, which would be a very, very disappointing thing for us, because we need to be in the Champions League. We need to be making that, we need to be reaching the later stages of the Champions League and really showing that we are still Man United and not just some bum club like Arsenal who have dropped down so low. Not some bum club like Liverpool who went down to shit for so long. Now, of course, they're picking themselves up, and they are actually probably better than us right now. However, They are still a bum club. Let's not get that shit twisted. So fuck Liverpool. I'm just go ahead and say that. But we need to be like Man City, who, of course, it hurts me to say this, but over the past few years, they've continued to build their team in a very intelligent way. They have a very intelligent manager, and they look like a team that's a board and a club in general, that really is dedicated to making Man City as successful as possible, where it's not just about the money. It really is about the success, and that's the biggest issue, because back when we had Sir Alex Ferguson, we had a manager who was capable of taking a team of bums, like we had for a long-ass time, and really making them overachieve in extremely big ways. That's why we won so many titles, because he was able to take so many teams from basically when Cristiano Ronaldo left on. He took a bunch of bum players, a bunch of bums, and he made them champions. Of course, there were players like Wayne Rooney. There was still Michael Carrick. There was Rio Ferdinand, Vidic. We had a lot of truly great players in that team as well. Robin van Persie when he came over. We did have some great players. Dimitar Berbatov comes to mind as well. We had some phenomenal players. Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, etc. But we also had a lot of those players at a very old age once they were still there. And yet he was still able to take those players and win titles, win Champions Leagues. Of course, when Ronaldo was there was a phenomenal team. But I'm talking about 2010, 2011, 2012 even. That last title that Ferguson won, realistically, that team nowadays wouldn't even come close to winning a title. And he's still able to win it by like 10, 12 points, something like that. That was phenomenal. So Sir Alex Ferguson is a special manager. We're seeing a manager like Jose Mourinho, who is one of the greatest of all time, one of the best managers in the world, who is still struggling with the team we have right now to be able to achieve what we should be achieving realistically, and he's not getting any help by the board. So we need to be looking at Man City, seeing what they're doing, bringing in a sporting director who can really be somebody who can really connect the manager to the board and help out with all football-related things, and not really just be there for the present. He needs to be there for the future. That's what the sporting director does. He's not really there to be getting in the way of the manager. He's not really there to be in the way of what the board's trying to do. He's there to be able to guide the club from a future point of view, because managers are all temporary. Let's just be very real. 2018, there are no managers going to be at a club for 25 years. That just doesn't happen anymore. There's not going to be another Sir Alex Ferguson. There's not going to be another Arsene Wenger. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen anymore. Managers are there for 3, 4, maybe 5 years on if you're very lucky for that guy. She's going to be 5 years at a club with a lot of success. It's just not really going to happen anymore. So you kind of have to be able to have somebody, of course, a manager coming in there trying to achieve the success he wants to achieve in the few years he's going to be there. But you need that director of sports, that sporting director, who's the director of football, whatever you call him, who's going to really be able to guide the team and really give them objectives for the next 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to guide the future of the club, to ensure that club's still going to have the same objectives now that they're going to have in the next 10 years. And of course, if some things change, they change. It is what it is. That's life and that's football. But you have to be able to guarantee that the trajectory is going forward every single time. Never, always going upwards, never going down. And we need that right now, because the board doesn't give a shit. They don't give a shit. As long as they're making money, as long as they're buying Alexis Sanchez, who is a phenomenal player, of course, but as long as they're buying players like that who are going to guarantee them making money backwards, bringing money back into their pockets, that's all they care about. That is all they care about. And that's where Jose Mourinho's been very intelligent lately, in my opinion, because as you see what he's doing, all right, he's not really directly going against the board, even though he has kind of talked shit about them in the press over the summer, talking about how they didn't bring in the players that he wanted, and the fact that he was disappointed with the transfer dealings that they were doing and the way they were trying to acquire players that he wasn't necessarily interested in, and kind of refusing to spend less money on a player that he wants, as opposed to spending more money on a player he doesn't necessarily want. So he has gone at them, and he has kind of exposed them for not really trying to give the team what he believes the team needs, because at the end of the day, the manager is the guy that needs to be deciding what the team needs. These bum-ass dudes who don't give a fuck about the club, they're just there to make money, and it's pissing me and everybody else the fuck off. It's sickening. It really is sickening. So is Jose Mourinho out? Hell no, because he's doing the very smart thing. And of course, when we lost to Brighton, when we lost to Tottenham, I was pissed off. And a lot of the blame for me was going to Jose Mourinho, because in my opinion, against Brighton, he made some tactical mistakes, but that wasn't really his fault in a lot of ways, because looking back on it, he picked the players that I probably wanted to see play. Against Tottenham, the team played very well in the first half, and it was just a piss poor performance in the second one. It was basically because they kind of broke mentally. But I don't blame that on Jose Mourinho now, because after I had a day or two to think about it, it wasn't his fault, because the players simply went out there and they weren't giving the effort, or they simply broke mentally in the Tottenham game. You can't really do anything about that if you're the manager. You can go out there, you can set the strategy, you can tell each individual player what you want them to do. But realistically, once they're on the pitch, they're doing what they're going to do. So Jose Mourinho, in my opinion, from that point of view, isn't to blame. Should he be getting more out of these players? There's not a doubt in this world that that is the case. He has a great team. Of course, it's not the greatest team. It's not on Liverpool's level, possibly. It's not on City's level, possibly. It's not even arguably on Chelsea's level. Maybe it's not even on Tottenham's level, arguably. So maybe he shouldn't be necessarily getting second in the league. But without a doubt, with the players he has, he should be getting a lot more than he has been so far at the start of the season. However, the Burnley game, it was a very positive performance. Of course, it was just Burnley who have been having a shit start to the season. But regardless, it was an optimistic performance. He was very happy at the end of it. And I just think that he's doing a very, very solid job of really going out there and trying to gain the appreciation of the fans, because realistically, ever since he's been at the club, he hasn't really been able to do that. He hasn't really done the whole classic Jose Mourinho thing, which is go out there and win over the love of the fans. He's never really been able to do that with United for some reason, even though it seems like he really, really loves the job. In my opinion, if he was at Real Madrid, if he was at Chelsea again, whatever, he wouldn't be as respectful to the fans as he has been. He wouldn't be as respectful as he's been to the club as he has been for Man United, because ever since really when he was at Real Madrid and he came to Old Trafford and the whole Nani getting a red card thing, and that was kind of a stupid red card, and even at the end of the game he admitted that in his opinion we deserve to move on and not Real Madrid. From that day forward, it really seemed like Jose Mourinho's dream job was Man United. So I think that he has a lot of respect for the club, and that's why he's really trying to stick it out, and that's why he's going out there and he's defending himself, and he's really trying to just improve the situation and really win over the love of the fans, which is something that he hasn't really been able to do ever since he got there. So that's a very smart move, a very intelligent move. Is it going to work in the long run? I don't know. Is he going to be there next season? I don't know. But as of right now, even though I have gone against him a few times here and there, I have criticized him quite a bit here and there, I do think that without a doubt, Jose Mourinho needs to be staying at the club, because realistically, if you look at the board and you look at him, without a doubt, he's the only one that's really doing things to try to benefit the future of this club, trying to win stuff for us, not just be out there trying to make money, because he doesn't really care about the money. All he wants to do is build a team that's going to win now and succeed and really bring us to levels that we need to be again. And the board simply isn't doing that. So before I say Mourinho out, I say Glazers, get the fuck out. Alright guys, I would like you to let me know in the comment section down below what you think of everything I just said. Should Jose Mourinho be staying until the end of the season? Should he stay next season? Or are you of the opinion that Jose Mourinho needs to get the hell out of Man United? Let me know in the comment section down below what you think, and what do you think of everything else I said in this video. Are you positive about the situation? Or are you extremely negative, and do you think that we're going to have a very, very awful season unless we get rid of Jose Mourinho? If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share the video. That's extremely helpful, and as always, thank you so much to anybody who does do that. And as always, big shout out to all my subscribers. Thank you so much to every single one of you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.